Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. So did you? I know that led to something you wanted to bring in
It's just
about
back
gun
to
control.
this question about gun control
Yeah.
in this country. It comes up every time we have a mass shooting, every time something happens. We want to have stricter gun laws or loopholes where people can't get guns who don't need to have guns. I know the current administration is working on different ways where people can implement background checks for longer periods of times for people to be able to have guns. And I know it's a fight back from people saying like it's our Second Amendment right to have guns and things of that nature. But what I see in that fight back is like it's only the right of white people to have guns in this country, and the Second Amendment. When there's tons of black people who carry guns and are a part of like gun groups, responsible gun groups, and teaching people how to use guns and things of that nature, you just don't hear about it. It's just more scarier to see a black man walking with a gun on the Capitol building or wherever because they think they're gonna rob, shoot, or kill you because that's what they've been told. I think that as a responsible person, you know, you should know how to use your gun. You should know how to do it right. It doesn't mean everything will end up right, but I support that. Like, I want to go get my CCWs. I want to learn how to shoot a firearm. And I never was for, like, owning a gun or any of that nature. And I fired a gun. I just didn't like the way it felt because I tied it to, like, this bullet's going to go into somebody's flesh and, like, kill them. If I'm in danger, of course, but I just didn't like the way it felt. I didn't like the kickback of like the gun or whatever. It was a Glock. But now I've totally changed all the current shit that's been going on in this country, in this world, for God's sakes. It's like, well, maybe I need to learn how to use a gun and safely and securely. And
Some people, I think, also like that, the feeling of being like and having power, because if you're pointing this at somebody, you have that person's attention for sure.
So, President Vale.
Oh, I'm the president.
Yeah, you're the president. You're the president in this current scenario.
Yeah.
You're a person that can control. We know that we're not gonna get into politics, but you can control laws. I know about Congress and all that shit, but you can control laws. What is the solution? What
That is so
What
difficult.
if you were the president? What is
Khalil,
right?
that
More
is
guns,
so-
less guns. More guns or less guns? That's what I'm saying.
Less.
Less guns.
There's way too many guns in this country.
Yeah.
I think less guns.
Different kinds, too.
Yeah,
That's what I
like-
think.
My thing is, so it's like, with less guns, does that mean is that being more restrictive to certain people? Less guns means more. Does that mean more restrictive per se?
I think there needs to be measures in place
Yeah.
to vet people more.
Okay.
Who wants to get a gun?
Okay.
That's all. So like to operate a car, you need a driver's license.
Right.
You take a driver's test. You take the test. You take the other part of the test. You have to pass it, and you get a driver's license. Now we all know there are fucking idiots who have driver's license
Yeah.
who don't need driver's license, but they took the steps to get the driver's license, so they got the driver's license.
But as far as like, because we said something earlier that what if a person was sane when they got the gun and went crazy after the fact?
Those are things that fall through their wayside. We can't measure that.
So my thing is, but those people. So in that case, crazy people have guns at that point.
Correct.
So, but somebody that was sane originally and then became crazy. So we're limiting some people the right to protect themselves from that person.
Because they can't get a gun?
Huh?
Because they can't get a gun? Or
Yeah, even a crazy person,
Uh-huh.
they just can't protect themselves. Like, I'm not debating anything.
No,
I'm really just
I
asking.
understand. Well, how can they, like, if they're not all with it mentally, what are they, like, how do they know what they're protecting themselves from? If they're, like, not with, like...
You're saying, like, in the moment of, if one of these events were to happen?
What if there was a...
Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. I didn't mean to laugh. I didn't mean to laugh at all. What if there was a totally sane person, like focused, that decided he wanted to go around and mass shoot crazy people?
How does he know they're crazy?
That would be wild, first of all.
How does he know they're crazy? Is he going
He went into an insane asylum.
Okay.
and just
shot
start
at.
taking people off. Well,
Or just like
no, I don't think that should be allowed. I mean, no.
I'm not saying you think should be allowed, but then that limits a crazy person the right to defend themselves.
Are you talking about if an insane person would want a gun to defend himself if somebody coming in?
but they would never be approved. I feel like because of the. I don't know what the restrictions are right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody with like a mental illness is allowed to have
not.
a registered gun.
He's saying like they got one. They were saying
Why can't the mentally ill people defend themselves as well? That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying I agree
because
with
they
this.
can't even do basic things for themselves. They can't sometimes like
They
clean
can pull.
themselves.
They can pull the trigger.
They can't even clean themselves or bathe themselves. Why do you think they live in group homes and things of that nature?
They can pull the trigger.
Stop it. Why do you think they live in group
They
homes?
can. I'm saying you acting like you saying stuff that's more difficult than pulling a trigger.
Khalil.
You are.
I don't think they would ever get to that point to be in the possession
My thing
of
is,
it, even if it was legal,
why can't an insane person defend themselves?
because they're insane.
So they don't have the right to defend
No, I'm
themselves
saying
because
it's-
they're insane?
I'm saying
Yes.
since they're insane, they will never be able to get a gun.
I feel like, I don't know because I'm not insane,
Yes.
but I feel like as an insane person, I might be insane, honestly. As an insane person, I feel like
You're not
I would
insane.
know if I'm
No, you
being
wouldn't.
attacked.
You're insane.
Oh, if you're being
If
attacked.
you're being attacked or threatened or something
Yes.
of that nature.
And that's what I'm saying.
But then also
What if
there's also sometimes where they're not being attacked and they just consider themselves being
Oh yeah, 100%.
attacked.
Yeah,
100%. No,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And that's why they don't need them. But
So you're saying
I'm just asking questions.
We just came full circle as to why.
Right.
Why we did not. You came to
did
the
it
conclusion right
yourself.
here just now. Why they should not have one. So thank you for the answer.
thank you.
I got you.
Thank
I
you for
answered my
that.
own question.
Yeah, you got it
But-
yourself.
What I was gonna
I was just trying to go somewhere, but I guess it didn't work out like I
It went
wanted
somewhere.
to.
It went somewhere.
it went all around the
Yeah,
sun.
yeah.
It came right back to where we started.
Okay, my bad.
I was just gonna say that I think, like, I agree with the less gun thing. When less guns, I just, like I said, the style variety. Like, we don't need all this. We're not buying chips. Like, there shouldn't be all these different forms and levels of guns. You know, in my opinion, only people who should have that are authority people, because
You're talking about the different levels of guns.
yeah, the different levels of, and even then, some of them are unnecessary. But I would rather have people of authority have different levels of guns than people on the street, because I just feel like if I need a policeman to take out somebody with a gun, I would rather the policeman have a better gun than the person that's starting this mass shooting.
That means if we're trusting the police now, we
And
trusting the
that's,
police now.
and that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
don't,
who else do you want to trust?
I'm
yourself.
just saying.
And that's what they're doing. And that's what they're doing. Basically.
But it looks where it gotten us. To,
Look where it's
to
gotten
these
us.
numbers is what I'm saying.
because, but my thing is because the problem is not the guns. The
the
problem
people.
is not
It
the
is-
guns.
it is the people.
Yeah.
But
The
if you-
problem we have the world has a mental health problem.
well, yeah.
The world has, and that's the issue here.
But some other countries deal with it much better than
Yeah.
what we do in America with mental health.
Yeah.
And just guns,
Guns in
period.
general.
My thing is, but that's the thing is, like, people gonna do whatever they want. Like, people, fuck it, have whatever gun you want. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. But work on your mental, because it's something wrong with you if you feel the need to harm somebody.
Well, right.
There's something wrong with you if you have a fear of somebody harming you.
If it ain't in defense,
Yes, but also it's our culture. When you've been in a culture where guns make you macho, guns make you a man, guns are American, and guns are da 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 da, then that seeps into your
My thing is,
being.
if they take, but my thing is, if they take guns away, all niggas is gonna do is get a sword.
That's fine. Let's get some samurai swords in this bitch.
old school.
You know what I mean? But you feel what I'm saying? Like,
but
it's like,
honestly,
so,
Khalil, they're not going to take guns away
yeah.
because everybody loves guns.
Yeah, they're
right,
not.
left, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody loves their guns. They're not going to take guns away. That's what people. They're not going to take the guns away. They're not going anywhere. They just want roadblocks
Right.
up
Yeah.
in situations, and I'm okay with roadblocks.
And one of them should be, I was going to add, one of them should be a mental type of thing. Like,
A mental test.
yeah, mental test or
retest,
Or,
like if you,
yeah,
like
retest
if you,
every
like
once in a
if
while.
every 5 years you got to go back and see if you're
But my thing is, what is a mental test going to do? Because it's like there are people in Congress that could probably pass a mental test. Well, but they will shoot me if they see me.
I would say
not in the Congress, but people on that side. You know what I mean?
When I say like mental tests,
like, they feel like you're threatening them,
when I speak on mental tests, I more so just feel like, or I mean like how you were saying, like if you feel the need to harm somebody just because they did X, Y, Z. That's the kind of mental test I mean. Not like can you do math, because that's that wouldn't help us out with this type of elimination or whatever. I think it should be like a mental like how if you go see like when you're a police officer, let's say they make you do like some kind of psychology thing just to make sure you're all like, I think that should be the same way when you're getting a gun.
Like a standard.
But my thing is, what you say? My bad.
Like a standard.
Like that's a standard, yeah. But my thing is, it's about, like, I could lie and say I'm a good person and I love everybody. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, so what is...
But psychology, like, if you study psychology,
I was going to say,
things of that nature...
Oh, like, they really, like... I don't, but the thing is, I don't understand it, so I don't know what is it that they could say that a person can't lie their way around to get a gun. You know what I mean? I could say, I love everybody. Like, I don't want to shoot nobody. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, but I think it's more intrusive and more in depth, like the way your brain reacts to stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they could pick up, like, if they're trained psychologists, I think they could pick up
like body language.
Oh, you love everybody.
Like
you don't want to. They could probably like see through that. But yes, there are certain people that are sociopaths, and they can get through any kind of thing, no matter what, and get their way.
But it would still weed out a mass amount. You know,
I just think some. And I'm not saying that everybody who went in who did these mass shootings had mental illness, because some people didn't. They just were malicious people who wanted to hurt and harm.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when we look at the studies that keep going over these things, some of these people had mental health issues. And we treat mental health issues in this country as like, shoot, kill, ask questions later. Mm-hmm. If we started being like, this person is really blah, 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 or like, maybe it might be a little, I don't know. Like the correlation could be completely different. I just think that we need to do something about it. Like if if everybody's packing, so now everybody got guns, is that going to change anything? Do you think that would change anything if everybody got guns, now everybody afraid, or everybody's trigger happy to shoot everybody at any given time? I'm not saying restrict guns, because I don't want the restriction of them.
Yeah. And honestly, my whole thing is because I get both sides, but I also don't fully understand both sides. Mm-hmm. Because it's like I think both of them have negatives and positives. Yeah. I think to it, and it's
and that's why it's so complicated.
And that's why I feel like fuck the guns. Like that's not the problem. Mm-hmm. The main problem should be trying to figure out, like, get to the root of why are niggas acting up like this. You feel me? And that's what.
It's all in the head. You're saying
it's all in the head. It's all in the head. That the mental health, that should be the main number one thing on everybody's agenda.
I wish it was, because if it was, I think we could try. Like we would come up with better solutions for some of these things that are going on.
Yeah,
I just really do.
I think that's the most major problem that we have, and I think that's what we should be targeting, because people are going to find ways to get guns.
Oh, if it's not a gun, it's a sword, and if it's not a sword, it's stones. Yeah, so if you want to harm somebody, you're going to find a way to harm somebody. It's human fucking nature.
So it's like
the guns make it easier and faster.
And at that point, and that's part of this fight is a waste of time debate, like that with as far as all the things we be pushing for. Like what is it really going to help? Like what is this really going to do? Because if you take it away, people are going to get a fucking gun. Mm-hmm. So like what is restricting gun laws really going to do?
But I think if it's if we didn't have any, we would have a lot more killings, shootings, mass stuff. It is some things in place where you're not, you had Axeman at your job. If he had hit the firearms he wanted and he just went in and just started spraying because.
No, that man has guns.
Did he bring them with him and spray it?
I didn't know everything that was in his trunk, so I don't know. It could have been.
He probably has one.
The axe was just his weapon of choice that day.
But that's the thing. So let's just say he chose to pick up, a gun. So, like Lavelle was saying, I don't think they're not going to take guns away, because our country's just too
they're
strong,
in love with guns.
stronghold love with guns. Whatever, fine. You can.
The NRA runs everything.
Yeah, NRA shit like
They're
that.
bankrupt anyway.
You can have a love for guns or whatever as long as you know how to control it, like you said, and also as long as you're mentally in the right state to control it. I think that's like you said, that's the solution. But right now, obviously, they're just gonna push for less guns. But maybe with this push, somebody eventually will be like, well, hey, if we ever consider it's not the amount of guns, just the individual, like the mental of that person, and then maybe that's when they start putting in guidelines or rules to be like, okay, you know.
But my thing is, we already know that's the problem. So why are we wasting our time with this other thing right now?
Money.
I think we can still use both and money.
Yeah, and you said something. You just said something small about the NRA being bankrupt. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they're bankrupt.
So
I didn't know about that either. Like they just got bankrupt.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for this whole debate? Does that mean that they need more guns?
No, they need more members.
Guns is what? Oh, they need more
They
members.
need more members to buy memberships so it can support their lobbyists to go lobby for, and they give money to like campaigns. And
so are they hurting right now?
They're hurting, but I think it's more of like a dog and pony show.
What does that mean?
I don't really think they're hurting. I think they're trying to portray to the public like, hey, look, we're bankrupt and we need more
to get
members.
strength.
Yeah.
To get strength.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all those country guys' sons can sign up right now.
And I think it's just more underground.
Lone Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more.
So
Boogaloo Boys. All
the
that shit.
NRA is just.
It's an
Their
organization.
whole purpose
National
is just
Rifle Association.
Right, but it's just to say
That's what it stands for. I never knew that.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's just to say we want guns. Like that's their whole purpose, or are they the ones?
They started off as like an organization to teach people about the safeties of guns and like Boy Scouts and
so
rifles. It turned into a money because it attached itself to money and like, oh, we want laws where we can have stand your ground law. We can give money to this person running for office, and then you have to back our agenda. Like, so we want stand your ground laws. We want what's the prosecution without like when police can fire and nothing happens to them. I
don't know.
Immunity. Like if
Yeah.
a police officer shoots somebody, no questions asked, things of that nature. So they want their agenda pushed, like everybody else wants their agenda pushed. They're just a bigger source that can come together and push that agenda. That is kind of like seeing cracks now. Because the world is changing. They're sick of this. They're like, listen, just like you said, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we? What, like, it doesn't, like, I understand the left, I understand the right. What are we talking about? It's not going to go anywhere. It's kind of cracking because, like, people who are coming up and, like, we don't want to live in a world like this anymore. We want to try to do something differently. And so there are a bunch of old people who are dying. So, like, who's going to feed it? These stupid.
So they're basically like the DARE program for guns.
Yes. And we all know how well the DARE program works.
Hell yeah.
For me.
Right. So, right. Yeah. Exactly. So, we know we need to revamp all these programs because nothing is working right now.
It worked when I was 8.
This is why we're at
Honestly.
right now.
Yeah. You sure? Because, sir, I'm not going to smoke when I'm 12. Like,
Right.
No.
See me in 6 years, bro. 5.
They're not 5. So, yeah, these are antiquated ideas. I think we sometimes use antiquated things to try to fix current solutions. And it's very frustrating to people because, well, it's frustrating to me, I won't say people, because you have to change with the times and everything isn't going to be like it was in 1980. We can't apply what we know about guns 1980 to 2020. What are we in, 2021?
21, yep.
2021. Because nobody's out hunting because all of Americans are fat and lazy. Nobody's fucking out hunting for their food or like for sport.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to Africa and killing fucking lions and calling it a sport. That's not a sport. You understand what I'm saying?
Or an elephant.
It's all antiquated. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, me personally, I would be solid if there were none, period. You know what I mean? Like, if there were just no guns, period.
Yeah.
But if niggas got them, like, I need mine.
Like you said,
feel me?
there'll probably always be a way to find one,
Yeah.
or get your hands on one. I just do think it shouldn't be as easy.
All the people that die with guns, like drive-by shootings, like kids here where we live, kids who randomly get shot because there's illegal guns out because gangs are feuding or somebody's trying to get somebody and things of that nature. It's just a shitty thing. I'm not, but that, you know, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not the gun czar where I'm like, get rid of all the guns, because that's just not gonna happen. I don't even see that ever happening. Okay. But I think we can have better ways to which to measure it. That's all. Let's just measure it in a different way.
And I think it was I want to say it was the mayor or maybe a congressman, like in this speaking after that incident, he was just saying, like, you know, like how we were saying, it's kind of numb now, but it only hits us when it's somebody we know or in our city. So it's like we need to change that, you know, perspective. You know, it should be like now. Like, no, I don't want to just I don't want it to hit me for me to be like, you know what, we should probably
do something,
change this gun,
or try to do something that affects it in that way.
You know, because it's happening all the time. And what you were speaking on about, like, this ain't 1980 anymore. It brings me to my next point, which is just the last couple of years, like as far as mass shooting goes and things like that. Just so we got a definition, a mass shooting is considered when 4 or more people are shot in one location at roughly around the same time, and that's excluding the shooter. So last year was the worst year for mass shootings. Nearly all like major cities like had an increase in gun violence, and then for mass shootings, they all had a 50% increase last year.
Yeah. And niggas was all pissed last year.
So yeah, they said, you know, the pandemic, unemployment, all that kind of stuff had a factor into it, on top of just the normal, you know, gun gang, all that crime rate, violence on top of that. So they said it was 611 mass shooting events last year.
God damn.
513 people died, and then 2,543 people were injured. In 2019, you had 417 mass shootings, 465 people died, and then 1,707 injuries. The other issue is, depending on how people define mass shootings, that's when the numbers start to fluctuate. Okay. But regardless of the fact, it's still, we had a lot of shootings last year. You know, no matter how X amount of numbers you want to use it for people getting hurt and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why I bring that up is because this year, again, depending on how you define it, like I've seen some reports, like on USA Today, it'll say we've only had 15 mass shootings so far. And that report came out today. And then you look at another website and it'll show we have 200 mass shootings so far this year. So it depends on your definition, but let's just say we roughly had 300 shootings, you know, so far this year, just, you know, as a mass. And then my last take will be that California has the most, is if we're going by state. I don't know if that's population related or what. And then USA Today quoted that the most dramatic increases in mass shooting last year were found in states with cities that boast the largest Black and Latino populations, groups that traditionally are disproportionately impacted by crime and gun violence.
I mean, that makes complete sense.
So
that's definitely.
As far as we go, we should definitely be trying to restrict the gun violence and all that kind of stuff, because because
the guns
like
are there.
us
But listen, like us,
the
guns are there. They're in our neighborhoods. They're in inner city neighborhoods. Everybody has the guns, and it still hasn't stopped the shooting. So, like, you know, that analogy, like, well, if I have a gun, I would stop a mass shooting. I just, like, you would run into I'm going to stop the mass shooter. You may, if you're trying to save your family's life, but chances are you're going to...
I was going to say, that's the other thing I've been thinking about. When people be like, oh, you know, I got my CGL, so if something happened, or whatever it's called. I don't know how likely you are going to be a hero to go in and run in and stop this person from shooting, or how trained you are to go in and run in and stop this person from shooting, because you just might cause more problems or whatever. And there are stories of people, you know what I'm saying, helping out, taking out stuff. Like but that's why I say, if it came down to it, I would prefer the greater quality guns with the police and not with us.
I'm gonna not back you on that with the police, because the police is kind of fucked up right now.
Yeah.
But we need a system where, you know, a better system. But that's a whole nother.
That's
how.
About to go there.
I'm not with that either. I don't know, man. Because it's like you said, I get where you're coming from with that. But so if a cop has a better gun, that means his cousin got a better gun that stay in the country that hate us too. You feel me? Like if it's with the cops, it's gonna gravitate to the other side eventually, because you know what the other side is.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like so many guns in an illegal market.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right, and that's what Khalil was saying. You still get illegal guns. I'm just saying, logically,
yes.
If we're comparing a citizen to a trained person, I would rather have the trained person
have them. We need a better trained person. That's where I have a problem with. Like,
a better
police.
quality
not
gun.
Trained to do anything but take us out.
Yeah, than the individual.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.